shows that it was objectively reasonable for Officer A to perceive that Hinton posed a serious threat of imminent harm to him and to others.
The Hamilton County Prosecutor makes a ruling after an officer-involved shooting back on May 1st. Prosecutor Connie Pillich says police used justified force in the shooting death of Ryan Hinton and said the case will not go to a grand jury. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Rob Williams.
I'm Tricia Mackey. So you might recall this started from a stolen car investigation in northern Kentucky and ended in an apartment complex in East Price Hill.
Brenda Ordonez was at the prosecutor's press conference and has the latest.
Yeah, it's a decision that we all thought would go before a grand jury, but it did not. Today, Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich said her office had more than enough resources to conduct that investigation and ultimately come to the decision that the officer was justified in his actions.
We have to stand in the officer's shoes and look through what we think were the officer's eyes and perspective and what was within the limits of the officer's knowledge.
It's how Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich and team evaluated witness testimony, surveillance, and body cam from the morning 18-year-old Ryan Hinton was shot and killed by a Cincinnati police officer.
We went through frame by frame by frame over several minutes. This officer had just about that much time.
Pillich says it was 4 seconds between the time the unidentified officer, referred to as Officer A, pulled out his firearm and shot Hinton, who prosecutors say was seen by other officers running with a firearm in the direction of Officer A, who is chasing a different suspect. Here's dash cam of officers alerting Officer A.
There goes Hinton, running a different direction.
Hinton ran through 2 dumpsters before coming out on the other side where Officer A was located. Here's audio from Officer A's body cam that picks up a gasp and him saying gun when he sees Hinton reappear. Here's another look at that moment.
Coming around the dumpster, this is the very first possible time he could have seen Hinton. And that's when he pulls out his gun. But it's at this time, we can't see it because of the weapon in our viewpoint. This is certainly when Officer A knows that there's a weapon involved. Next slide. And this is where we see him running with the gun.
Pillich says Hinton had the gun pointed at the officer in a bladed position. This is Officer A's statements after the shooting.
He said, "I thought I better get my gun out and shoot him before he shoots me. And I fired before he could fire on me."
Photos recovered from Hinton's phone show him with the same gun that was found at the scene, fully loaded.
He ignored the officer's commands. He ran from police. He stopped to pick up a fallen weapon. He ran with the gun in the direction of the officer. He glanced at the officer with the gun in his hand, and he pointed the gun in a bladed manner. The applicable law and evidence indicate that Officer A was reasonable in his fear of harm. This shooting was justified.
Yeah, now other investigations into this shooting are still underway. Cincinnati police, as well as the Citizen Complaint Authority, tell me their separate investigations remain ongoing. Once they reveal those findings, we, of course, will bring you those details. For now, downtown with photojournalist Tom DeWeese, Brenda Ordonez, Fox 19 Now.